The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Perfect Audience 101. My name is Scott Danielson. I am the Senior Customer Success Manager here at Perfect Audience. I want to thank you for joining us today for this presentation. Now, the purpose behind the Perfect Audience 201 webinar is to give customers some ideas, tips, tricks, different strategies, or tools you might not be aware of or might not be thinking of to run with your retargeting campaigns. That does mean I'm going to assume you are familiar with the system. You have an understanding of how ad creation works. When I talk about audiences, conversion goals, and campaigns, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So if you are new to the platform, I'd recommend that you hop off here and take a look at our Perfect Audience 101 presentation hosted by my colleague Max. It covers the basics of Perfect Audience, everything you need to know to get started in your account, and then probably head back here for some more deep strategy talk. But assuming you are on board for the 201 presentation, we're going to be talking about 10 different tips to help boost your campaign's performance. Talking about some different ad types, ad strategies that you may not be aware of or you may not be thinking of, and just some general settings or tactics to help boost your ROI and your experience with Perfect Audience. Before we get going, I just want to point out a couple new features we have at Perfect Audience. The first four here you can see are related to Facebook and Instagram. These are all new supported ad types. So we, of course, have had Facebook retargeting for a very long time at Perfect Audience. But now with the different placements, we allow you to choose where your ads are displayed on Facebook and or Instagram. And that includes, like it says here, Marketplace, Facebook Messenger, you have access to lookalike audiences, and then Instagram placements as well. Very cool. With every campaign you run, you can decide which of those placements you'd like your ads to appear in, all, none, or a combination of many. And then finally, multi-product dynamic ads. I'll be touching on this a little bit later in the presentation, but these are the dynamic ads I'm sure you're familiar with by now. Dynamic ad is an ad served to a user based off of something that they were looking at on your site. So, for example, if I was looking at your website and you sell shoes, and then later on I might see an ad with an exact shoe that I was looking at, see the picture, its price, information like that. So that's what we're talking about with dynamic ads. And multi-product dynamic ads are ads that have different kinds of sliders or way for you to browse different products on the fly right within the ad. All right, so let's get started with number one. That's going to be talking about web, or commonly called display ads. Now, the vast majority of users that use Perfect Audience are already running display ads. So why are we talking about that here? It's more important that you run multiple ad types and multiple ad sizes with your web ads to get the most benefit out of them. Again, most people come to Perfect Audience for web campaigns because it's the most popular ad type. There's millions and millions and billions of impressions available out there. We work with networks like Google, Bing, etc. And they are all connected to various various websites, over 100,000 different websites that are constantly being updated. So it's a great reach with your web ads. So of course you want to use them. But what you might not be thinking of is the specific ad sizes that you might want to use. We do support a variety of ad sizes, and we do recommend that you use at least one of each ad size to maximize your reach. Make sure your ads are getting into places, every place that they might be eligible to serve. And specifically, the 300 by 250 and 728 by 90 sized ads are the most popular. There's the most inventory. We see a lot of interaction with those. So you definitely want to make sure you're including a couple of those sizes in your web campaign as well. Now, that being said, don't use too many ads. For most campaigns and most average budgets, we recommend 10 to 12 ads at most. The problem is a lot of times people will come in and set a campaign for a $50 a week budget, and then they'll try to upload, 70 or 80 ads. You just spread your budget too thin, the campaign won't be competitive, and you won't see a lot of impressions. So make sure you keep your ads low in count and focused. And kind of what I was touching on a little bit earlier here, multiple campaign and ad types. So it's great that you come to Perfect Audience and you have a web campaign. Many people use us for just Facebook campaigns as well. But where you really maximize your ROI with us is using both campaign types, Facebook and web, in tandem with each other. It ensures that your ads are being seen wherever your customers go. We know a lot of people spend time on Facebook, and we know a lot of people browse the web. So why not reach them at both places? You're keeping your brand fresh on your customer's mind and boosting your brand awareness. When you run campaigns in tandem this way, we see better interaction rates in terms of click throughs. You're obviously going to see more impressions, serving more ads, and it gives you the best chance for a successful campaign. So it's important to run both a Facebook and a web campaign with each other. And as kind of a thank you and to give you a little incentive to test out some of the things we're talking about today, if you stick through to the end, we'll have a code for you to email us and request an additional $25 credit to start a new campaign trying one of these campaign types that we're talking about today. Moving on to talking about your ads specifically, seasonal ads. So obviously people shop during seasons and holidays, correct? We just had Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, and everything. We have February, so Valentine's Day is coming up, Mother's Day, Father's Day right around the corner. It never ends, right? So use that. Use seasonal ads in your campaigns. Target the specific holidays or events that might be happening because they're on your customers' minds. So they're going to see ads relevant to these things, and it's an incentive for them to shop with you. We see a spike in impressions, clicks, and conversions during holidays. That's not really a surprise, and it keeps your ads competitive against your other competitors who are doing this exact type of tactic. And don't just rely on the big holidays either. Think outside the box. If you're a local business, especially if there's a local event, some sort of festival or something going on, use ads pertaining to those. Hey, come on by for 10% off for this festival, et cetera, et cetera. It's a great way to drum up business that might not otherwise be there, thinking about those seasonal ads. Moving on to dynamic ads. This is a must have if you are an e commerce customer and have an e commerce store. This is what I was referring to earlier, these ads that show the products that your users are viewing on your website. You have a couple examples of products here and see what those look like. With Perfect Audience, we have a variety of dynamic ad types we support. We support them for both Facebook and web campaigns. And I'll show you the ad builder here in a minute so you can see how that works. But again, these are highly relevant customer specific ads. You're showing them something they're already expressed an interest in. We see great interaction rates, conversion rates with these dynamic ads as well. And if you are an e-commerce customer with someone like Shopify or BigCommerce, we have actually Perfect Audience apps that you can use to install all the tracking and all the setup involved for dynamic ads. It does require a little bit extra setup than our normal ad types, but with these apps, it makes it very simple. It's just a couple of clicks. And if you are using some other one of the other popular e-commerce platforms, we have a lot of helpful setup guides for you as well. And as I mentioned, there's this ad builder that you can use for your web ads to help build the dynamic ads. And I'm going to pause here and switch over to my demo website and just show you how this works here. So I have a website here. It's just a kind of a generic demo website. We sell outdoor equipment here. And I have a product feed connected to this account, so we're pulling in the product information. And I'm just going to show you how we create a dynamic banner ad. So we go under our manage and create ad. We chose a dynamic banner ad, and now we have the ad builder here. So by default, we pull in just kind of some random products. I have kind of a generic ugly logo here. Hopefully your logo is a little bit nicer than that, but you get the idea here. You can customize these ads. We have some templates to get you started, but everything here can be customized down to the different sizes, the colors. There's macros that you can pull in from the product information. That's how we're pulling in like the product name and its price if it finds one, etc. You can customize the font and the text style and the buttons. It really gives you a lot of detail that you can make your ads look very, very nice. And once you have this template set up, again, that's all you need to do. The ads are then all created on the fly in your campaigns. And then, of course, we have the multi-product ads that look a little bit differently. There's some customization options there as well, but gives you the little buttons here to slide through the different products that the user was looking at. So it's a really cool, really handy tool if you are using dynamic ads, and if you are e-commerce customer, you definitely should be. Next up, let's talk about mobile ads. No surprise here. Mobile device use now counts for 68% of digital media time. I would venture to say that's probably even higher right now. People have their phones on them at all times, their tablets, their mobile devices. I know I do. It's attached to me. I never let it go. People are spending so much time on their mobile devices, so of course you're going to want to get your ads supported, get your ads in front of them. And at Perfect Audience, we support a couple different types of mobile ads. There's the mobile banner ads, which you can see here on the left-hand side, which I'm sure you've seen on your phones if you're browsing a website. They're just like what you would see on a desktop, just smaller. And then there's what we call interstitial ads. These are the full screen ads that might pop up in the middle of a game or something like that if you're using an app. And both ads are supported with Perfect Audience. If you do have a mobile app that you yourself are developing, your company is developing, we also have various ways for you to interact with the app and create conversion goals and audiences based off what your users are doing. So if someone opens the app 4 times, you can put them in an audience. If they make it to level 3, you can trigger a conversion goal. It's things like that. But again, a mobile app is absolutely not required to use mobile ads. That is just an additional tracking feature that we have. Mobile ads are currently only available in the US and Canada due to some privacy laws elsewhere in the world. Um, but it's a really cool technology. Basically, the way it works is someone comes to your website using their desktop device. We can cookie them and track them like we normally would with your campaigns. But with our cross device technology, we're able to match those users to mobile devices that they use and serve them ads that way. So you can run, for example, banner ads, certain sizes are supported for both web campaigns and mobile. So if you include those mobile/web campaign or ad types in your web campaign, they'll serve on both platforms. So you kind of get double your money. You're getting web ads within a web camp, or excuse me, mobile ads within a web campaign. So definitely check out those. They do require an additional campaign type, but it's definitely worth it. All right, for the second half of the presentation today, we're going to be talking about some different tactics that you might be unaware of or different settings in the account. And first is going to be talking about tracking converted users. What do I mean by that? I mean creating an audience of users who have converted on your site, who purchased something on your site, whatever the case is. It's very easy to set up. It's just like creating any other audience. We just need to know how you identify someone as a customer. Usually that's done with setting up an audience identical to your conversion goal. And it can be used in a variety of ways once you have that list of converted users. So I'm going to switch back over to my demo website here. And if you're using one of the integrations that I mentioned earlier, like Shopify or BigCommerce, this type of tracking is automatically set up for you. But if you don't have this yet, what you can do is just go to your audience page and create a new audience. You see I have one here called buyers, and they land on my path to my checkout page. So if they've landed here, I know they bought something. Now, obviously, there's 0 users on this, but we're going to make believe there's millions of customers here. So that's all you need to do. You just need to create your audience like normal, set the path to your conversion page, and then from then on, you have a list of your converted users. So what can you do with that once you've got that list? Well, we're going to talk about targeting or excluding those users in your campaigns. Starting with exclusion, why would you exclude a user? And again, when you click the exclude button in Perfect Audience, that's telling our system, do not show ads to anyone in these audiences, even if they are in a different audiences that I'm targeting. So why would you exclude a converted user? Well, you're minimizing your ad exhaustion. They've already bought from you. Maybe they don't want to see ads from you anymore, or at least not right now. So you take them off of your list and stop serving them ads. You've already won their business. You're saving money by not serving ads to users that aren't maybe not going to purchase from you again or sign up from you again, whatever the case is on your site. And it ensures that your budget's going to where it's needed most, to users that you haven't won yet. Why would you target a converted user in a campaign? Well, it keeps your brand fresh. Kind of contrary to what I was saying about ad exhaustion, you might want to set up a different campaign targeting users that have converted. You can drum up repeat business that way, especially if you do something like offer a discount. Give them a targeted ad saying, hey, thanks for being a customer. I know you're one of our friends. Here's 10% if you come back and buy something again. And just excuse me, setting this up is simple as starting a new campaign here. And just like any other audience setup for a campaign, we're going to choose target, exclude, or ignore. So in this case, I'm going to target my buyers list here. So this will show ads to people that have purchased something from me. And then I'm going to, no, actually, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to target my browsers audience, which is an audience of users that has looked at my products, and I'm going to exclude my buyer's audience. So this will give you the setup that I was mentioning here, not targeting, not serving ads to users once they've purchased from you. And it's all automatic. So once you set this up, the campaign will run. Anyone who's looked at a product on my website will be in the browser's audience where they will be served ads. And as soon as they convert, they'll be added to the buyer's audience where they will no longer be served my ads. So that's all there is to it. The rest of the campaign setup is exactly the same. Choose your ads, other settings, and get started. It's very, very simple. Similar to what we're talking about, excluding and targeting converted users, we're talking about targeting cart bouncers. Now, this is specific for e-commerce customers that have like a shopping cart built into your site. You create an audience based off of users that have landed in your shopping cart, which means they've added a product to the cart, but they have not yet purchased. So these are, again, very highly specific ads. We know that they're very close to a purchase. Gives them that little push that they need to come back and click that buy it now button. And we see great conversion rates when you target your cart buyers. So again, it's very similar to what we were talking about with our users. We create an audience. I think I might have one here already, based off of our cart visitors. Yep, it's called shoppers. So anytime they've added a product, they will land in the cart URL of my site. Will they'll be added to that list. And just like before, we create a new campaign. Oops. We target our shoppers audience and we serve them ads saying, hey, come on back. We know you got that product waiting for you in your cart. That's all there is to it. Excuse me. Next up is look back windows. This is one that a lot of people are aware of or just aren't familiar with what look back windows are in general. So before we discuss look back windows, I want to talk about audiences and audience duration. So I have, let's say I'll pull up my shoppers audience here. You can see that it has a duration of, well, this one's set to infinity. But when you create an audience, you have the option to set a duration for it. And a duration is the number of days that you want to keep this user in the audience. So here I've entered 90 days. What that means is when the user is added to this audience, whatever I do to set up how this audience is triggered, when they're added to that audience, they will remain in the audience for 90 days. After that 90th day, if we haven't seen them in that 90 days, they will be removed from the audience. So that's duration. Now, talking about look back windows, when you create a new campaign, you'll have the option to set a look back window with your audience. So my browser's audience, let's say for the sake of argument, is 90 days duration. That means the browser's audience contains users we've seen in the last 90 days. If I set my look back window to, let's say, 30 days, this campaign will only target users we've seen in the last 30 days. Even though this audience contains users from 90 days back, in this campaign, I only want to look at the last 30 days. So you kind of tell the campaign, only look at a section of these audiences based off of time. The most recent site visitors are the most valuable to you. They're the most likely to click and come back to your site and convert. The longer it's been since they've been to your site, the the longer or the less likely they are to come back and convert. So using short look back windows, even 7 days or so, ensures you're targeting only the most recent site visitors that are most likely to convert. So if you find your campaigns not performing great, you're serving a lot of impressions but not a lot of clicks, lowering those look back windows can really help boost that click through rate. And you're obviously going to be having a lower cost because you'll be serving fewer impressions. And then finally, today we're going to be talking about the domain blacklist. Now, this applies to web campaigns only, but what it does is it allows you to block any websites from showing your ads based off of your standards. Now, that doesn't mean in terms of like the ad guidelines that we all have to follow. There's no adult websites or anything like that. This just means you're performing up to your performance standards for your campaign. If you block certain domains that aren't performing for you in your campaign, it can help lower your CPN and boost your click-through rate and click-through conversions. It's very simple to do. We have a couple of ways to block domains, so I'm going to walk you through that process here. The first is a manual way. You just go to Settings and then Domain Blacklist. And here you just enter the domains, comma separated, that you don't want your ads to appear on. So if you enter these here, and then click Save, any web campaigns will not serve ads on these domains. But the more efficient and better way to do this is from the dashboard here. So I have an old web campaign, but we're going to pretend that it's active. Let's see if I can pull this up. Might be too old. Oh, shoot. Oh, I apologize. This data is too old for me to show it here, but normally this is done right here on your dashboard. The websites will appear right here along with all the various different stats pertaining to those different websites. So it'll show you like AOL.com served 1,000 impressions and had 20 clicks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what you can do when you have data in your actual campaigns is you can sort these columns. And what I like to do is sort by what's most important to me, number of clicks usually, or click-through conversions, or click-through rates, something like that. And then in the options column, there will be a little pause button right here. You just click that pause button, it pauses the domain instantly, and your ads won't appear on that domain anymore. This will show the top 100 domains that your ads are appearing on, so check it frequently. And you don't want to block too many domains. Give them a chance to perform. But over 30 days, 60 days, if you have a long running campaign, pause some domains that aren't working for you, and that can help boost the performance and save you some money as well. And that's everything that I have for you today. Thank you again for attending. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them out now here in the GoToWebinar control panel. There's a little questions box, and I will be happy to answer those. And in the meantime, you can view a recording of this presentation and all of our other training material. That's all available at perfectaudience.com/tutorials. And if you do need to contact us through support, we're happy to help. The best ways to reach us is by emailing support@perfectaudience.com. And our full knowledge base with all kinds of articles and videos and more information is available at support.perfectaudience.com. And again, as a thank you for coming to the presentation today, we have a free $25 credit for a new campaign. Just email support@perfectaudience.com. Mention that you came here, your site, and the perfect 201 keyword here, and we'll be happy to set you up with a free credit. Just give me 1 second here. I'll see if any questions have come in. Does not look like it, so I hope that means I was informative and concise. Thanks again, for everyone, for attending today. I hope you have a great day, and let us know if you need help with anything. Bye-bye.